Alright, y'all. We're back with some Citizen Sleeper. It's been a minute since I've played. Like, a good minute. Life has been a little chaotic lately. But oh wow. Yeah, really, so the only two things that are left are wait, okay, yeah. Let's do the flotilla aid first. Just because I don't know if that's gonna like make us leave or whatnot, but we got scrap. Actually, before we do that, we can throw some scrap in here. Heal up. Yeah, damn, we got hella money. I forgot about that. 913. It's crazy. Head over to the Greenway. Climbing Briar. Is this the flotilla? Welcome to episode Flux. It's the first of 3 episodic updates to Citizen Sleeper, telling the story of the refugee flotilla which has arrived at the Eye. All 3 episodes, Flux, Refuge, and Purge, are now available. Completing the supply, Giral's action will begin the episode. Okay. Well, we've got tons. Let's do it. Cool. Peak. You came. Peak smiles as you walk into the Climbing Briar's cargo hold behind a gloomy Esh. They brought mushrooms. Esh tosses the mushroom caps onto a crate, raising her eyebrows at Peak. Peak gives her a look. Thank you, Sleeper. They pick one up and sniff at it. Are these edible? Yeah. Peak turns the cap over in their fingers before putting it down. We're not used to fresh produce. Ash is securing crates as she speaks and doesn't look up. Hawthorne doesn't have much in the way of farming. Hawthorne? The installation we grew up on. Ash wipes off her hands on a rag. XBR loves to name their property after natural things, but that's about as far as that relationship with plant life goes. XPR? It's an interrogation? She glares. Either way, we are done with that place, which is all you need to know. Ash leans back against the crate she was securing. We're gonna need more than a few mushrooms if we want to help those refugees, though. Why are they trapped? You tell me. It's your station administration that set up the cordon. Peak gives Ash a look. Sorry. She looks at Peak. I know this isn't on you. Ash stands and walks over to the mushrooms you brought, placing them into a small container with care. The problem isn't just getting supplies, it's getting them through to the ships. Can you speak to Haven Age? We aren't exactly welcome guests, Peak explains. If anyone figures out that we came in with the refugee ships, we'll be quarantined as well. Why is there a quarantine? Peak jumps in. The Eye is a closed-loop life support system. Just like any orbital installation, any unfamiliar illness or significantly increased strain on life support could cause a cascading collapse in its systems. Ash scoffs. Are we making excuses for these bureaucrats now? Peak turns. We are being realistic, Ash. But these people aren't an increased strain. They are living people. Ash stares at you. Even calling them refugees is just a way of turning a lot of scared, desperate people into a single monolithic group. Ash slides the container full of mushrooms into one of the cargo hold's racks. Look, as much as I'd like to chat, we still got a lot of space to fill in this hold, so if you're gonna help... I think Ash is trying to say, we need your help, and quickly, Peak says, glancing at her. The refugees behind the cordon, they won't be able to hold out indefinitely. We need to get supplies to them in the next 12 cycles or so. Ash steps forward, or Haven Age will have to bear the responsibility for whatever happens next. What can I do? There's 3 things we still need to secure. Water, food, and scrap components for ship repairs. Ash gestures to the storage containers around the hold. Water we can find a way to source, or, my preference, just siphon off from the underground reservoirs in the Greenway. Peak raises their eyebrows. Ash? She ignores them. For food, things could be tricky. Those mushrooms are delicious, I'm sure, but no way we can get enough volume to feed a flotilla. However, I saw an algae stack on the way over. If we can get access. Not more stealing, Ash. Peak sighs. I didn't say steal. She stares at them indignantly. If we can get access, we can work the stack, harvest some algae for the flotilla. Those stacks churn out vast quantities in short timescales. And the repair components? Peak asks, tentatively. Ash smiles. Just look around you, Peak. This whole place is made out of scrap. She shoots you a glance. And I'm sure the sleeper has their sources. They can bring them right here. We get everything before time runs out. Perfect. We get most of it? Also good. Either way, in 12 cycles, I'm going to take what we have and go. But how will you get through? Ash shoulders a container. I thought I'd leave that up to you, Peak. They flinch. Are you serious? Ash, I know we said we would help the flotilla, but at what point? They stop, take a breath. Take this seriously, Ash. I don't know the first thing about breaching a quarantine cordon. Maybe not, Ash looks at you. But they might. They slipped out from an S&R facility, didn't they? Plus, they've been here longer than us. You were always trying to get me to find help. Well, here it is. She gestures at you. Help. Peak glances between the two of you. I swear to... I need to think this one through. Meet me at the cordon in a couple cycles, Sleeper. Maybe we can figure something out. Meanwhile, Ash meets your eye. You can help me acquire the supplies, discreetly. She smiles. We have to keep this quiet. Keep Haven Age out of the loop. Once they get suspicious, this is over for all of us. This all suddenly seems a little too real, too dangerous. You only just found your feet on the eye. This is not a time for causing trouble. Come find us. We'll be out there trying to pull this all together. Ash goes to the back of the hold to start packing another container. Peak, come help me. Peak glances back at her. Sleeper, look. We didn't choose this either. They lower their voice. Help us finish this. We've set up a base camp on the Broken Spoke. You are welcome to rest there in any of the cots while we work on this. They smile. We're in this together. Peak! Ash shouts, and they walk back into the hold to help with the container. As you leave the climbing briar, you look out at the broken edge of the Eyes Ring, where Haven Age's cordon blinks with tiny red lights. What are you getting yourself into? Okay, what do we need? The cordon. Okay. Cool, so we can sleep here. We have 5 stabilizers? What the hell? Okay. We need 8 scrap components? Damn. Ash will take what you can get. We can get 8. We just gotta... Yeah, we can do this here. Oh, brutal. Okay. Well, it's not great. Algae stack. It's risky. Ugh. Dude. Maybe we can work for it. Reservoir S3 interface engineer. Hack sensors. Wait a minute. Reservoir is monitored by a web of sensors. Hacking them will reduce the alert level of the system and keep you from getting locked out. Okay. I don't know. These are trash. I guess we just go back and we need some good rolls. It's really bad. NG energy. Yacht again. Oh yeah, we get double data. I forgot about that. Okay. Now, let's see here. Cross back to the greenway. And we will sleep in the, in a cot. Okay. Alright, we got this. Those are not ideal, but I think I don't know. I don't know what we should do. Hold on, let's see. Algae stack. This might be the move. We can get scrap later. Hey, baby. Let's see. Can we do it with this? Let's do it. Let's do it. Oh. Neutral outcome. That sucks. Alright. Oh. Algae growth. Takes time to grow, and each cycle more can be harvested. Dude. That's so brutal. Nah. Maybe we'll try to go for the water. Reservoir. %, positive. You only get 1 from that? Oh shit, but you get scrap for engineering. Okay. That I like. We'll end that again. As you leave, you find a note pinned on the outside of the door. It reads, "Sleeper, there's something you need to see. Meet me at the cordon as soon as you can. Just keep heading around the ring until you hit the flotilla. I'll be waiting. Peek." You pocket the note and glance around the corridor. Looks like you're doing this. Time to make a plan. Okay. Peek. Cautious spacer. Sleeper. Pete catches your attention from the shadowy corner they were leaning against. Any trouble getting up here? None. Good to hear. Come, take a look at this. They beckon you over to a nearby window which looks across the ruined ring to the blinking red lights of the Haven Age cordon. The cordon's temporary structures, a net of metal struts meant to detect and dissuade any ships from entering or leaving the flotilla, jut out into the black. And all around the tugs flit, securing them in place and tending to the red blinking drones that demark the quarantine. It's an impressive and worrying sight. What do you think? Peek interrupts your thoughts. How would you get through? Use one of the tugs. As an escort, you mean? I doubt we could fit all the supplies on one of those tugs, but if it seemed like the Briar was being officially escorted through the cordon, Peek squints at the red lights, but then we'd be stuck inside. Peek turns away from the window and rubs their forehead. Ash has really wrapped us up in something here, hasn't she? The question is spoken under their breath, and they don't seem to expect an answer. The silence grows. Maybe we try all three. Peek laughs. I like it. At least we could prepare as many ways as we can. The way I see it, there are three parts to making it through that cordon. They gesture out the window at the strange structure. Deception, distraction, and speed. We'll need all of them for a clean passage through. Deception means tricking the cordon security into thinking that we are meant to be there. Maybe a tug escort would work, anything that makes the Briar look official. Distraction, meanwhile, will be all about diverting attention so that no one looks too hard at what the Briar is doing. If we can create a gap in the cordon's scanning and deterrent systems, that should keep them busy. Finally, speed will mean making sure the Briar is ready to roll. Perhaps we can do a little work on the ship to get her ready. Ash surely wouldn't mind. They lean back from the window. How does that sound? Excellent. Peek grins. Don't get too excited. There's a lot to get sorted before we make the run. Peek looks down at their slate. 10 cycles left. They glance out of the window at the cordon nervously. 10 cycles to gather the supplies and to prep this plan. It's tight. Very tight. Peek looks at you. If this goes wrong, just get out, okay? They squeeze your shoulder. I'll follow Ash anywhere. But you don't need to get dragged down with us. It won't come to that. Peek brightens up a little. Of course. But just keep it in mind. Let's get to it. Peek stretches. I'll tell Ash about the improvements to the Briar and the rest. Let's explore the cordon as best we can and look for openings. I have no idea what guardian angel sent you to us, Sleeper. Peek smiles. But I'm very glad they did. Okay, the cordon. Intercept comms. God, there's so much to do. Okay. I want to get the flotilla stuff first. So, LG stack. I say we go. Positive. Okay, there we go. Let's get some scrap out of this, please. Oh, oh well, we can at least get this. God damn, dude. I need scrap. Wait, I can't farm anymore, can I? Shit. Okay, the next cycle we can. Damn, can I have more than one scrap, please? Where can I eat? I can go back to. Yeah, we can go to Emphas. Thank you, buddy. I miss you. We're gonna have to use. We're gonna have to use a stabilizer, I think. Yeah, let's just use one. We can get another one for cheap. We got so much money. Sci-Fi dorm. Okay. Oh, those are terrible. Okay, what do we want to do here? We got, what, 7 cycles left? No, we got more than that. There was 12 total. So we got 9 cycles left. So what if we just get this out of the way first? We're halfway there. This might be kind of nice. Let's do the water one more time. Because we might be able to get some scrap for this. Oh, come on. No, I don't think it's worth it. All right, we'll go back to the waste and try to finish this up. Should we do it? We're doing it. Oh, that's absolutely brutal. Can I just pay for food? Yeah. Damn, are they gonna short me here? Am I only gonna get 4 dice? I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're only gonna get 4. Oh, that sucks. Okay. Did it to myself, though. Endure. This could be all the food, though. If we get a good roll here, hey, we'll take that. You are leaning against the metal crates you just loaded up with algae, packed and dried into bright green pucks. Ash hops onto one beside you, flexing her aching back. Is this enough? Ash squints at you, as if you have just interrupted her train of thought. It's a look you have become familiar with. Doesn't matter either way. This is what we've got. She sighs, rubbing the back of her neck. In these past cycles, working the algae stack with Ash, you've had a little insight into her mind. She rarely seems happy to start a conversation, but is always eager to end one. Despite this, you feel like something has grown between you. Something like silent trust, the kind that tends to seed itself into the fertile soil of hard but necessary work. There's something I've been meaning to ask. Ash raises her head cautiously. Go on. Why help the flotilla? Ash pauses, her protective instinct fighting with the trust you've built. You can see her begin to shrug the question off, and then she stops, rethinks, sighs. What you need to understand, Sleeper, is that Erland's Eye wasn't the only place where the Solheim collapse happened. Sure, Hawthorne, where we grew up, was an XPR installation, but that didn't screen it from Solheim going under. Actually, Solheim was the only reason XPR were ever there, or ever here. She pauses, hesitant to get into the whole story, but wanting to offer something. They are a service corps, you understand. They set up outposts and surrogate systems like this to offer refueling, logistics, and maintenance services to bigger companies with extraction contracts. She gestures to the eye around her, like Solheim. When Solheim went bust, XPR lost their client, and Hawthorne, well, we lost everything. We became an outpost tasked with just holding on. Keep the refueling platforms running, they said. Keep the outpost stable. Hold on to our claim. She rubs at her head, as if recalling all this was somehow physically painful. Do you know what it is like to spend your entire life in a place with no future? A place that only exists to hold a legal claim to a piece of territory, to shore up breach of contract negotiations between two corporations? It's like living in a... She searches for the word, her eyes jumping back and forth. In a grave. She clenches her hands. I mean, we kind of know what it's like. We're a sleeper. So if you're looking for the answer to why questions, that's your answer. We, Peak and I. I know what it's like to be forgotten, to be locked out. She stares hard at the side of the stack, the algae whirling against the glass in beautiful patterns, and she doesn't look away. The silence extends, and you realize the conversation is over. Ash seems angry, not at you, but with herself, for even voicing such ideas. After a while, you stand and start to load the crates onto the powered cargo trolley that Ash will run back to the Briar. As you do, you try to catch her eye, but she avoids it, soothing herself instead with the comforting simplicity of physical work. Oh, Ash. You're complex, my friend. And that is the last little bit of scrap. Okay, Briar Base Camp. We've got the scrap for you. You look over the pile of scrap components lying in the Briar. You look around. The bay is empty. Ash and Peak either elsewhere on the station or on the bridge a couple of levels up. You begin sorting through the pile, separating out useful components and boxing them by use. You don't recognize everything you find, but before long you get into the rhythm of sorting. As you do, your mind starts to drift, your attention being drawn into the dark corners of the bay. The Briar is in surprisingly good condition, considering that Hawthorne and XPR must have been operating it for decades by now. The marks of care are everywhere, from the delicate patch jobs polished to meld into the original finish, or the carefully bound wiring running through custom trunking. Ash loves this ship, that much is clear. Something catches your eye in one of the dark corners, a matte black stack of crates you hadn't spotted before. They are sleek and compact, tucked away behind some of the bigger, more worn containers. No, we're going to investigate. You put the components away and go over to the sleek crates. You run your hands across their textured surface, but there is little hint of what lies inside the opaque metallic casing. Then you see it, a yellow symbol embossed onto the far side of the crate, a universal sigil used by spacers, corporations, and manufacturers alike. It's one you have seen throughout your time as a sleeper, its meaning all too familiar. Explosive contents. Oh shit. You hear a hiss, and Ash comes up through the bay's lock. She barely registers your presence, nodding at you as she passes. Sleeper. She busies herself with some task at the back of the bay. I'm gonna ask about the crates. Ash doesn't turn around from whatever she is busy with. Just more supplies, Sleeper. Like everything else here. You can't think of anything else to ask, but sense that the atmosphere has now somehow shifted. You quickly finish up the sorting and slip out, waving goodbye to her back as you do. Okay, that's alarming. Okay, let's get some food. I'm scared. The water was the only other thing we needed. And we're halfway there. Okay. We can do this. We can definitely do this. We are going to stay in the Hyphodorms. Oh, those are some fucking rolls right there. That is what's up. Moritz. What the hell? Another job? Sleeper, long time. Moritz is smiling at you when you leave, clearly happy to see you again. Moritz, good to see you. Same, same. He rubs his hands on his jacket. How you been? Working hard, I bet. Well, you are always welcome to hang out at the bay if you want. He glances around. Actually, that's what I'm here about. I know Bliss said she didn't want to take any more big jobs, but she's changed her mind, or something. He grins. Because now we have someone looking for a refit of their ship in our bay. You would not believe it. They want their entire ship disarmed, cutting out defense arrays, weapon lockers, ship-to-ship countermeasures, the whole lot. He leans in. We'll be able to start an arms dealership with all the hardware we'll have up there when we're done. He laughs. Anyway, it's a massive job. We need some hands. Bliss said to go get you. So come on up. Bliss is waiting on you to accept the job. He pauses. It'll be good to have you up there again. He grins. Like old times. Oh my god. We got a fucking another one. I'm gonna help this group get out of here. But I ain't leaving Bliss. All these sixes. Nice. And we got a scrap item from it? Hell yes. Tucked into a service corridor deep below the reservoir, Ash is double-checking the seals on the water tanks loaded onto the motorized trolley. Though you are far enough away from any thoroughfares not to worry about being overheard, you both still speak in hushed tones. How will you get these to the Briar? Ash glances back at you. We'll trolley these up to a bay further along, and then we'll bring in the Briar for a quick and quiet collection. Speaking of quiet, she gives you a look and then looks pointedly back down the corridor towards the reservoir before hitting the ignition on the trolley to start it moving. You take the other side of the trolley and walk it up the wide service corridor with its flickering lights and Solheim detritus. You doubt it gets used by Haven Age, at least that's the hope. You glance across at Esh, her face a mask of determination as she guides the trolley along. Maybe some conversation will make this journey go a little easier. How'd you meet Peak? Ash pauses, a little surprised by your question. She glances back down the tunnel, but in this deserted passage, she can hardly keep up the pretense of silence. We grew up together, she answers quickly and turns back to the trolley, but she can tell you are expecting her to add more. She seems to gather herself for an answer, not wanting to ignore you, but trying instead to get her answer straight in her head. Our outpost, Hawthorne, is not an easy place to grow up. The administrators keep a tight hold on everything. She rolls her eyes. Even though they are trapped in the same decaying installation as everyone else. Peak. She pauses. Peak found it harder than most. She pauses again, judging her words. I stepped in to help them out. Silence descends again, but you can feel the wheels turning in Ash's mind as the creaking wheels of the trolley take you along the corridor. Peak isn't the most practical of people. They used to be. Well, they needed someone to teach them to look after themselves. Stand up for themselves. That was me. She smiles. After that, I couldn't get rid of him. Ash stops talking, but you see her eyes have lit up, and you imagine she is recalling some moment or other from her and Peak's past. You both reach a wide bulkhead doorway and have to stop to shimmy the trolley over the edge. When you are done, Ash turns to you. I'm good from here. Head back. With that, as she is gone, moving off into the dark tunnel ahead. You watch her go and then turn around and walk the distance back to the staircase you entered from, the tunnel humming around you as you do. As you walk, you try to piece together Ash's past, but all you have are glimpses of a person she once was. She seems to prefer it that way. Hey! Oh, shit. Interface. Engineer. There we go, baby. A 1. Do, 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 do. Pretty much almost paid off our food. I'll take it. Oh, we gotta go back. We gotta go to the bay. Hub dock. When you enter the bay, it is weirdly quiet. Moritz must be out on some errand. Maybe Bliss is prepping the kit? Oh, shit. What? I was not expecting to see you here. Sleeper. Ankita is drifting at one side of the bay. You missed her completely when you came in. The idea of not seeing Ankita when you entered a room would have seemed unlikely to you several cycles ago. Seeing her without her armor, she seems smaller, less imposing. Finally got rid of the armor? She ignores your remark. So what is this? She asks. Come to avenge Ashton or his sleeper, or just looking for another payout? Her anger is familiar, but quieter than before, restrained. I don't want to fight. Then why are you here? She looks away, and you can tell her anger isn't directed at you in particular. It radiates off her like fire. You better be ready to sign, comes a shout from the bay entrance, because I've got my best repair tech coming up here especially, and they are going to... Bliss glides in and suddenly stops herself when she sees you and Ankita standing off. Oh, Sleeper, you're already here. Miss Cassetta, this is the tech I was telling you about. Best on the... She stops, looking between the two of you. Wait, do you two know each other? You and Ankita look at each other. We work together. Bliss squints at you both before continuing. Bliss produces a slate. Should I be forgiving her? She did kill that guy and the sleeper. I don't know. I don't know if I should forgive her. Whatever, I'm gonna do it. It's random chaos out here anyways, and life isn't guaranteed, blah, 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 nihilism, blah, blah, blah. Bliss squints at both of you before continuing. Bliss produces a slate. Now, Miss Cassetta, if you'd like to sign our damage waiver here, we can start on the decommissioning. She looks at you. My tech here is eager to get started, as am I. Ankita scrawls her signature across the slate. Thank you, Bliss pauses. And everything is okay with the special payment terms we discussed? She gives Ankita a strange smile. All fine, says Ankita, giving you another hard look. Then she kicks off and drifts to the entrance. I'll be in the gimbal, she says, and leaves. Special payment terms. She looks over her glasses at you. Look, Sleeper, there's something I have to tell you. She glances around again. What is she so nervous about? This isn't exactly a typical job. Miss Ankita? She gives you a knowing look. Doesn't have the chits to pay us. So we've made a special agreement. She sighs. I'm leaving. What? You're joining a mercenary crew? Don't make me laugh. Ankita is an ex-merc. Why do you think she's getting us to remove all her ship's armament? Amber. The ship is called Amber. Bliss gives you a funny look. Some deep history here, huh? She holds up a hand to stop you answering. Look, all I care is that she's heading for the starboard belt. She looks out of the bay. That's where I'm headed. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. She turns back to face you. Also, I wanted to ask. She stops, unsure. If you'd like to come with us. Dude, really? Oh my god, I think I... What about Rico? I don't know what to do. Do I have to leave right now if I do it? Okay. Just think about this. Just think about this. Oh. Can I think about it? I do want to. I would. Oh, fuck. I'm doing it. I'm hoping I can just have some time, just to get them through. I would. She interrupts before you answer. I know things have been hard for you on the Eye, and you helped me so much. I asked Ankita if she'd carry two of us, and she said yes. Moritz will take over the bay anyway, although if you stay, you are welcome to help him run it. I just thought... She sighs. You might be in need of a fresh start as much as I am. Oh, hell yes, okay. We had time. She turns away nervously. Think about it anyway. The berth is there. We've got to finish the job first anyway. And with that, she kicks away and heads to the racks, before you can offer an answer. Moments later, Moritz enters with a new cutting torch for the disarming of the ambergris. Starboard belt. You push your thoughts to the back of your mind. Time to get to work. Fuck. Dude. Okay. Oh, boy. That sure is a lot to think about. Oh. Makes me sad about leaving Rico. Okay. Wait, actually, let's self-repair real quick. Ski. Okay, so we have pretty much... Briar base camp. So we've pretty much, yeah, they say got everything. Ashes run. Scrap. We don't need any more. This we should be able to get through. Interface. Engineering. Coordinate. Energy. Blend in with the crew. Intercept comms. Yeah. We're gonna do this. It's risky. It's risky. Oh, hell yeah. Of course you would give me just one. Cordon operations. Crew canteen, okay. Damn, we got a lot to do here. Okay. Deflect suspicion. So, wait, can I eat food here? Ugh, can't even eat food there. Haven Age hangar. Slice thrusters. Tugs have a powerful suite of ion thrusters for rapid maneuvering. If you can sneak in and slice some off, you'll have a significant upgrade for the Briar. Yeah, we could do that. We could definitely do that. Speed. Sabotage the sensors. I say, yeah, let's get rid of the sensors for sure. Okay. Oh boy. We sure are spending a lot of money here. Alright, let's end the cycle. I would love a scrap. So I'm wondering if this is all interface. Is there any engineering I can do here? This is engineering. So what if we did these two things? We did get scrap. We only got one. Alright, I promised I would help these peeps first. Cordon operations. It's risky, but it might just not be maybe risky enough, if you will. And this, we can do some work for Minji Express. Tight. Alright, let's end the cycle. Okay, I really need some scrap here. See, that's nice. 4s make it a 6. Okay. Oh, baby. Random scrap item. Cool. You managed to hit the hangar during a shift change and the whole place is empty. You come away with the thruster set with little effort. Shit, yeah. Pete grins as you pile the ion thruster set onto the motorized trolley in a derelict loading bay. I borrowed this from Esh. I barely know how it works. They seem giddy at the idea of stealing the ship parts from Haven Age. I thought you worked for XPR. I did, but not as a repair tech. They help you heave the thruster into position. My specialty was computer systems. I mostly worked on keeping the protocols that ran the refueling platforms from totally decaying due to a lack of use. There's a load of platforms in orbit of the moon Hawthorne is on, and Cinder itself. Ash and I ended up having to head out to them regularly to work on them. Sounds technical. Peak smiles. That was the best job at Hawthorne. You get assigned a ship, you get to leave the colony for a bit. So much better than the outpost maintenance or canteen work. The only reason we got assigned it was that Esh's mother is the administrator of Hawthorne, and Esh managed to get my name on the list too. Peak looks for the trolley's ignition. Esh is always saving me. They find the switch and hit it. The trolley starts whining. Peak looks at the thrusters. Esh will install these. The Briar is her baby, really. Peak looks towards the bay exit. Truth be told, I was surprised she could bring herself to take it from her mother. Losing a ship? That has to have hurt the colony. What is her mother like? Tough. You'd have to be to keep control of a service outpost with no services to provide. Peak looks away. It's a tough place overall, Hawthorne. And Esh's mom? She likes it that way. Peak shuffles the trolley out of the bay into the corridor. They'll manage without the Briar. No choice. Peak smiles. I have to admit, I'd love to have seen her face when she saw we had gone. Peak pauses. Don't tell Esh that. They walk on quietly, lost in their memories of Hawthorne. Okay, I think I can manage the rest. Peak brushes their hair out of their face. You've done more than enough this cycle. Peak looks over the thrusters. Once these are fitted, the Briar will handle better than ever. You might even get a thank you from Esh. Peak laughs. They head off into the corridor, the trolley whining, its high-pitched whine. See you soon. Okay. So there's nothing to do here. I would say it's not worth it. Ooh, you know what we could do? Hit the waste. Get a scrap or two. Yeah, buddy. And then we can do this too. We can sunbathe. Throw a scrap in. And end the cycle. I'm nervous. Oh my god. Dude, those are shit rolls. Drone messenger. A rapid burst of movement catches your attention. A drone, its fins adjusting as it hovers in place, floats in the corridor. Hello? The drone shifts a little, but does not respond. Drone buzzes closer and a voice gurgles out of its speaker, distorted and strange. Sleeper, come to the cordon. We need to speak. Who is this? The drone clicks and whirs and the recording starts playing again. Sleeper, come. Cordon, we need to speak. Inspect the drone. You move closer and the drone bobs away to a safe distance, but as it does, you see the HA of Haven Age emblazoned on its side. Could this be Fang's drone? Satisfied it has delivered its message, the drone rotates and accelerates away as rapidly as it arrived. You stare at it as it disappears from sight, hoping for some insight that escapes you. To the cordon, then. Okay. Let's eat some food at the stacks. Can I have 3, please? Alright, we got 1 scrap left. Oh shit, dude, we only have like... Oh, we do not have enough cycles. That'll turn it into a 4? Is that worth it? No. No, it is not. This is worth it, though. I don't care. Yeah, there we go. Peak is waiting for you when you slip out of the operations center. nervously poking at their small slate. Sleeper, they hiss. I followed what you were doing on the network. Incredible work. How do you do that? It comes naturally. Peak smiles. I can't tell if that's modesty or just the truth. Interfacing skills like that? It's almost worth being... They stop themselves. Sorry, I didn't mean... Don't worry about it. Peak nods. Sorry. You and Peak quietly slip into the main walkway and work your way back to the public areas of the cordon. Haven Age has had to quickly respond to the flotilla's arrival, and that means a lot of contractors and spacers walking through these corridors. You blend in easily enough. I haven't really met a sleeper before, Peak begins. As you might have guessed. They smile nervously. Hawthorne is an XPR service outpost, and since the collapse, no one came for refueling or repairs anymore. So my generation has never met anyone outside the company. We heard about sleepers, they nod in your direction, from the data packets that come through the XPR every once in a while. They usually contain news along with the corporate propaganda, but the reports were light on details. SNRP have kept the sleeper program pretty quiet anyway, and I think XPR are only interested in telling their employees about it because it made living in our company town look like a good life, in comparison to being a piece of corporate property. They freeze. Sorry, again, I don't mean... They look down. I'm just not sure how to talk about this stuff. It's okay. Peak smiles. I'll shut up about it now. You walk on a little further, the walkway becoming busier. You both relax a little more and go with the flow of people. I just want to say, I think I understand. They begin again. Clearly this has been on their mind. I understand the need to escape, to get free of it all. They laugh at themselves. The structures, the systems, the company horizons in a company town. They stare ahead. The small places, small corridors, small people. They look away. The slow death it brings. That's it. They turn to you. I get why you signed up to be a sleeper, and why you escaped from that too. You try to form words, but you can't. There's altogether too much running through your head. But you look at Peak, and they look at you. That seems okay for now. You walk in silence again, each of you in their own thoughts, but moving together through space nonetheless. After a while, you come to the entrance to the cordon, where handfuls of workers and crews filter in and out through two huge loading bay doors. Peak stops. Okay. They pause. I'm heading back to the Briar. Once again, incredible work on the sensors. That blind spot you created? That should give us a real advantage. See you soon. They head off, disappearing into the crowd, almost immediately outrunning their own nervousness. I don't know what to do. As you enter the passage that leads through the cordon, a flash of movement catches your eye. The drone. It stops to make sure you've seen it, and then flits into a side passage, leading to a set of narrow stairs. You climb up through a dark shaft, the drone stopping at each landing to check you are following. Despite its lack of expression, there's something overbearing about the way the drone waits, impatiently realigning its fins in sequence. Wait. Is this gonna be Sabine? No, we already know where Sabine is. Okay. I forgot, we already completed her drive. After a long climb, you come out onto an observation platform. The cordon and the vast, ramshackle refugee ships beyond fill your vision. The scale seems impossible, and immediately you feel small and naive for even thinking you could affect this situation. Something shifts nearby. The drone again? Whoa. A woman is standing at the window, at the edge of your vision. You aren't surprised you didn't notice her. She too seems impossibly small in the shadow of the flotilla. The drone buzzes by her shoulder and she turns. Sleeper, sorry for all the cloak and dagger nonsense. She nods at the drone, but I've never regretted being cautious. She smiles a tight smile and holds out a hand. I'm Helene. We're going to shake her hand. The tight smile holds, but the drone keeps its single eye fixed on you. The effect is a little unnerving. Look. She glances around the empty observation deck as if checking for potential eavesdroppers. Let's be straight with each other. I know about your plans, and she cuts in before you can respond. I understand your motives. You look at her in her overalls, the yellow markers, the HA sigil. You've been on the eye long enough to recognize a Haven Age member when you see them. You're a Haven Age. Yes, I expect that is obvious. The tight smile again. I hope you won't hold that against me. She glances around nervously again and moves a little closer. This entire situation, I'm not here to defend it. She glances back at the flotilla. No one is happy about this. Especially not the refugees. I'm not your enemy here, no matter what you think. She pauses. Sleeper, tell me something. What does Haven Age mean to you? Really, Hardenhurst. Hardenhurst. She squints at you. That was unfortunate. But you should know it was one of our own who exposed Harden, and that has been dealt with. What do you mean that's been dealt with? Oh, okay. Whew. Haven Age is used to being criticized. In some ways, we invite it. Our members are free to bring up grievances at any time, to propose new structures and approaches. She shifts her weight impatiently. As a counselor, it is my duty to listen to them. That is why I was elected by the members. We are an imperfect system, yes. And each counselor, each member, each representative can be flawed. And worse. But we keep this place running. That is what we do. And the flotilla? She turns and looks out at the clump of fractured ships. The flotilla is a problem. Can the Eye take in thousands of refugees safely? I don't know. This place is a ruin, Sleeper. What do you think the council discusses? The price of girl? We make plans to keep this place spinning, to keep life support working, to ensure... Helene's slate chirps and a grim look passes across her face as she sees the notification. She looks tired, the screen light casting her rigid expression in a pale glow. Sleeper, I didn't bring you here to explain how Haven Age works. I came to talk about your plan to cross the cordon, breach the quarantine, and supply the flotilla. She looks directly at you. Stay silent. I know you think you are helping the flotilla, but you cannot do this. Right now, halfway along the ring, one of a countless series of debates are being held. These debates are to evaluate the potential harm that could be caused if the refugees of the flotilla are left to enter the station. These debates are at a standstill. Helene walks to the window. Too many in the Haven Age Council think of the flotilla as a threat. After recent events, a hardline group has emerged, protective, selfish. They seek only to benefit the members. In their mind, the flotilla is a danger to life on the Eye. Dude. The explosives. I wonder if Esh is not who Peak thinks. If you are caught crossing the cordon and breaching the quarantine, it will only strengthen the hardline counselor's case. Criminals who stole a ship from XPR undermining the security of the station. She shakes her head. It's exactly what they want. The refugees need supplies. They do, and that's exactly what I want to give them. But unless the quarantine is lifted through a fair process, they will never get them. She sighs deeply. And those XPR spacers you are running with, Sleeper, do you know anything about them? No. Why do you think the refugee flotilla came here now? Something is happening in this system. Something is pushing people out of colonies and outposts that have survived since Solheim collapse. We need to be ready for whatever is coming, ready to protect the Eye. I know the Eye means something to you. I know there's a reason you are still here. Help me protect it. Helene fixes you with a strong look. Persuade those spacers that this is the wrong move, that they will get caught and the flotilla will be locked down. The Haven Age will be delivered into those with the worst instincts. Forget this suicidal hat supply run with people you barely know. Help me fight for the Eye. Why don't you stop them? If I expose the plan, it's the same as if it goes ahead and they are caught. Every way I look at it, the Eye looks compromised, the quarantine justified, the hardliners get their scapegoat. Don't offer up the excuse the hardliners need to lock the flotilla out altogether, to persuade the members they are the safest pair of hands. She looks at you imploringly. Please. You look back at her and the flotilla behind and sense a desperation in her plea. A notification breaks the silence. Shit. She rapidly scrolls through the pages of data. Sleeper, I need to go. She looks torn. Think about this, please. Talk to the spacers. Help them see reason. She quickly leaves the observation deck before you have time to respond. You stay for a moment, watching the lights of the tugs and the flotilla, and wonder what it feels like to be one of those ships, so close to your destination, and yet so far from it. And then you think of the Haven Age Council chamber, across the Eye, where the right of these people to find safety is being debated. You shiver, and then you two are gone, back into the stairwell in the cold dark below. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. We'll end the cycle, I guess. Well, shit. Sleeper. Peak is waiting for you when you leave, but they look different. Pale, drawn out. You need to come up to the Briar now. They don't meet your eye. What's happened? Not here, Peak hisses. Come to the ship. We'll be waiting. Peak walks away. Don't take long. And with that, they disappear around the corner, leaving you anxious and confused. Okay. As you walk into the climbing Briar's cavernous bay, now filled with crates and containers, Ash is waiting for you. In front of her, sliced open with its inside scattered across the top of a heavy-duty crate, is an object you recognize. Helene's drone. You freeze. Come in quick. Peak nudges you into the bay, looking behind you before sealing the entryway. We have to start being careful. You move closer to the container, your eyes on the drone splayed out in pieces, some parts of it hooked up to a slate that Peak picks up and begins tapping away at. Ash looks up from the dissection. We caught it buzzing around nearby, heading for the ship. She leans over and taps the HA sigil on one of the removed pieces of plating. It's a Haven Age spy. We think we got it before it sent data back, but we can't be sure. Peak looks at you nervously. Ash cuts in. Have you noticed anyone watching you? Any drones like this? Anyone following you up to the Briar? Oh, fuck. Yeah, I'm okay. These people need help. And I just don't trust bureaucrats. Sorry, Helene. I've seen this drone. Ash frowns. Following you? I met its owner. Ash pauses for a while, Peak looking between the two of you. Explain, Sleeper, Ash says quietly. Tell him about Helene. You explain that you met with Helene at the cordon, and you tell Ash and Peak about what she told you, that the Haven Age Council are debating lifting the quarantine, but they are blocked by the hardliners. You speak faster and faster, but before you can finish, Esh walks away in anger and then comes back again, her eyes burning. What is this, Sleeper? You understood nothing from what we've told you? She paces in front of you. Haven Age are not your friends. They are administrators, which means they are interested only in their own power, their own survival, their own causes. They divide people as easily as sorting livestock. The greater good of their work demands it. The wider project of the station, the colony, the nation. Her eyes are as wide as she speaks. Her eyes are wide as she speaks, her anger barely contained. I didn't have a choice. Pete cuts in. Listen to them, please, Ash. They are with us. Pete glances between you two. What was this Sleeper supposed to do? They were ambushed by the Helene. I only listened. Let me tell you something, Sleeper, Ash says, her rage hardening into pain. When people become administrators, they give up something. Some part of being human, being an equal among others, goes away. They start talking about the greater good, the systems, the ways in which their hands are tied or their process is compromised. God, that's so fucking true. My mother was the administrator of Hawthorne, and I have seen what it did to her. That noble, higher calling. It is toxic. People should never have the chance to decide the fate of others, and those that do so at a cost to their humanity. Peak tries to cut in, but Ash holds up a hand. Don't start, Peak. Don't ask me to be reasonable or calm down. Thousands of people are desperate out there. Being reasonable will only prolong their suffering. I don't know. I just think we do what we gotta do. But I'm worried that you're gonna just blow shit up. I'm worried that you're gonna blow things up with the explosives. And then it's gonna be my fault that the fucking eye collapses. You alright? Ash doesn't move for a moment. Then she lifts a hand to rub her temples. She goes to say something, then stops. She walks back into the bay and starts checking the straps in the crates. I will make the run. She yanks on a strap. No more distractions. Sleeper. Peak looks torn. You have to understand. This is personal for Ash. Helene warned me. Peak tenses. Warned you what, Sleeper? Getting caught will be bad. You don't think we know that? Peak looks tired. You glance around the bay of Briar. The walls seeming closer every second. This whole thing is closing in on you, and the question is, where do you want to be when it all collapses? You look at Peak. What do you think, Sleeper? Peak rubs their forehead. Should we do this thing or not? I think we should. We got thrusters, they got a blind spot. Obviously they know what we're doing. Some of them do, but fuck it, let's do it. Peak nods. Okay then. They squeeze your shoulder. Onward. They slip away to help Ash, leaving you alone to replay the conversation in your head. A certain kind of grim determination settling in the room. Last chance to prepare. Oh, we're fucked. Crew canteen. Okay. Deflect. Okay. We're just gonna go at this. Maybe if we have all of these things, we'll be good to go. Shoink. Alright, let's eat some food. tough choices. I don't know if what I did was the right move. Oh my god, did we do something wrong? What is up with those? The worst rolls in history. Okay. You meet Peak leaning in a corner of the canteen in their typically unassuming way. It occurs to you as you approach that Peak must have had some practice at staying invisible. All good? They look up from their slate. That crew you were talking to. They nod to the group leaving the canteen. Will they join us? They'll do it. Nicely done. Peak beckons for you to follow as they peel off the wall and head out into the walkway overlooking the cordon. Glad you were here to talk them into it. I never had much of a way with people. Peak smiles and looks away quickly as you walk. You and Ash seem to do okay. Peak laughs their light and easy laugh. Ash is not really like other people, which you've probably noticed. If only everyone was like Ash. They fade off, something drawing their attention. What I mean is, people have caused me a lot of trouble. I've had people hate me without knowing a thing about me. They tuck their hair behind an ear. I'm sure you know the feeling. I do. Peak glances at you. Sorry to hear that. It marks you, am I right? It does. Peak nods. You both walk in silence for a moment. Not an awkward silence, but one of solidarity. Peak leads you around a corner, heading back to the main cordon access way. I appreciate you coming in and helping us out on this, Sleeper. On talking to the crew and, well, you know. Maybe after this insane plan is done, we can talk properly. They keep looking ahead, and you realize they are nervous. I'd like that. Peak smiles, looking down at their feet. That's settled then, they say to the floor. I better report the news to Ash. We have ourselves a tug escort. Peak stops at an intersection. See you soon, Sleeper, and please, take care. And with that, they drift away, their head down, their gait changing as they do, their practiced invisibility shrouding them like a cape. Okay, that's all of them. Let us... Fuck. Oh my god, that's no good. This will work, the stacks. I guess we'll use another stabilizer too, huh? Oh, I think this is the one. She's gone, Sleeper. Peak is breathless and shaking. She started the run without us. Shit. Let's go. If we head to the cordon now. Peak starts back up the corridor. They turn back. She has to make it, Sleeper. She has to. A shiver runs down your spine. Ash, I hope you know what you're doing. Oh my god. Oh fuck, dude. Oh no. You arrive frantic and anxious at the cordon. Peak is nowhere to be seen. Then you hear footsteps hammering on the metal stairway Helene's drone led you through before, the one that leads up to the observation deck. You leap up the stairs 2 at a time and make it to the top, momentarily blinded by the light pouring into the observation deck. Sleeper. Peak emerges from the light. She just I know she was just trying to protect me, but... It's okay. She chose. What about my choice, Sleeper? I'm not a child anymore. I can fight for myself. They turn away. There she is. Peek rushes to the wide window, leaning forward to catch a glimpse of the climbing Briar's blue XPR livery against the black of the void. Well, I got everything set up, so... You spot the climbing Briar, a glint of blue and white, and beside it, the red glare of a tug's lights. The tug crew went with her. Peek smiles. I knew they'd keep their word. That'll help. Peek doesn't seem to hear you, but the idea of the crew backing Ash up makes you smile. Maybe this thing will work. You watch as the Briar and its tug escort arc down towards the edge of the cordon, demarcated by the red lights of the perimeter system. So far, so good. The Briar will just look like another refugee ship being escorted into the cordon, at least at a glance. Peek grips the rail as Ash reaches the edge of the cordon, that invisible net of sensors splayed between ships and drones. Now let's hope the blind spot triggered. You think back to the mess of systems you had to wade through to set it up, the delicate contingencies you set up to trigger the sensor blackout at just the right moment. Without noise, without ceremony, the Briar slides through the cordon. You await the flickering of alarm lights, the swarming of drones, but nothing. Just another cycle. Just another ship. Ash is in. Both you and Peek let out the breath you've been holding and laugh. How'd she do it? Peek smiles, shaking their head. We did it. Peek smiles wider. Yes, we did. You feel a little shaky from the tension, but Peek's ease helps you settle. You imagine Ash, steely-eyed, in the pilot seat of the Briar, searching for a place to dock. Maybe being stubborn has its advantages. You okay? Me? Peek sighs. I think they took years off my life, but I've got to hand it to her. She was right. You and Peek turn back to the window, looking for the Briar again amongst all those halls. The calm fading as new worries settle in. You spot the Briar first this time, docking with the largest of the flotilla's ships, a vast converted tanker, half of its protective plates removed. You think about the effort it must have taken to get that thing all the way here from the inner system. You watch the Briar, unable to get any sense of progress from its placid exterior. They will be offloading everything now, Peek says, both assuring you and themselves that everything is going to plan. You think of all the supplies loaded into the Briar and how long the process of unloading them might take. The bay was packed, rammed with everything you could offer, and the thought of bringing all that to the flotilla makes you smile. You think of the reaction of the refugees, of the welcome they'll give Ash as the bearer of such gifts. You even imagine a smile from Ash as she is showered with thanks. You focus on that as you watch the Briar, and continue the nervous wait for it to finish unloading. It's breaking off. Peek points at the Briar, and you see the puff of air and dust that accompanies an emergency depressurization. Ash must have ended things early, but why? Oh, God. Then you see them, the tugs, closing in on the Briar. Haven Age must have spotted the ship. You and Peek are up against the window again, willing the Briar a safe path out of the flotilla. Suddenly the Briar shifts in space, a blue blur between two hulls. Peek whistles. Look at that. They smile at you. Looks like those upgrades we put together work. You watch as Ash cuts through the crowded flotilla, the tugs not daring to follow her dangerous path and peeling away. It is hard to keep track of the Briar, and suddenly both you and Peek are searching the black for a sign. Where is she gone? Then all of a sudden she is out, blue against the black, pulling away from the cordon on a wide arc back towards the station. A clean run. Peek cheers and smiles at you. We did it. She's out. They beam uncontrollably at you, the tension released. You find yourself smiling too. Smiling at these two beautiful idiots in their beautiful ship. Then Peek is hugging you, squeezing you, with all the nervous energy that had been building. Thank you, Sleeper. We did this together. They step back, still smiling. We did something. Come on. They rush out of the observation deck. Let's meet her. Whoa. Okay. You and Peak rush into the Briar, finding yourselves in the now empty bay. The change is a reminder of what you achieved, and looking around, you feel all the more satisfied. A hiss sound at the far end of the bay, and Esh enters, looking exhausted. Peak runs up to embrace her, but she sits down on the bay floor before they reach her. You did it. They sit beside her. Esh, you were incredible. She smiles a small smile at this, laying her head on Peak's shoulder. You suddenly feel like you are intruding, seeing the two of them like this, quiet and content. Sleeper, Peak calls. Come on over. You cross the bay and sit beside them on the hard metal floor. Esh, Peak asks, did you give the flotilla our chairs? They both burst out laughing at the ridiculousness of it all, at the exhaustion and the worry and everything else. You laugh too. It is impossible not to, and after a while you all come to a stop. Peak wiping their eyes and Esh shaking her head. You would have loved to see it, Sleeper. Esh says quietly, the welcome I got. They came to greet the ship once I docked, to offload the supplies. I told them I was coming, of course, as soon as I got inside the cordon. But there were so many. Children, families, they were smiling at me, shaking my hand. Sol was there too, Peak. And he's just as gruff as he sounds over comms. She smiles. They took it all, crate after crate, until the ship was emptied out. Ash looks away. But there were so many, and even with everything we managed to bring, they needed more. They made me promise I would try to come back. Ash. Peak shakes their head. You know we can't do that twice. Ash stands up. What are we supposed to do? Wait for them to lift the quarantine? She is angry again, that familiar tension rising in her voice. Peak tries to pull her back down. Sit, Ash. Rest. You've done enough for today. Don't peek. I know my limits. Ash hardens. Okay. Well, seeing as they didn't catch you, perhaps they will lift it. They know the flotilla poses no danger now, if they can account for the extra load on the life support. Ash walks away toward the ladder that leads up into the upper part of the ship. I need to rest, Peak. She holds up a hand. Sleeper? And she limps up the ladder, step by painful step. I'm afraid if you were expecting a change in Esh's demeanor, Peak smiles at you. It's okay, let her rest. Peak nods. I think I need some rest too. Put a hand on your shoulder and get up from the floor. We couldn't have done this without you, Sleeper. And I know those in the flotilla would thank you too. Go rest. Peak limps up the ladder too, leaving you alone on the metal floor of the bay. Your thoughts drift to all those people on the flotilla, sleeping and sitting on metal floors like this. Children, families, playing in cargo bays and repurposed fuel tanks. You know their story isn't over yet, and you look forward to meeting them. The quarantine will lift. You feel more sure of this fact every moment, even though you aren't sure why. You lie back on the metal and stare at the ceiling. What was it Fang told you, Erlin said? The eye opens for us all. Maybe the old guy was right. A home for the lost. You like the idea of that. Maybe in time you can help make that a reality. But something is bothering you. A sliver of a thought like a splinter you can't extract. Why are thousands of refugees coming here now? People don't abandon their homes for nothing. What wave is rushing through the system, and when will it reach the eye? You shudder on the cold metal floor and get up. Something is coming. You can feel it. This isn't over. Whoa. Whoa. I don't want to win a ticket, but what I want to do is help Ankita and Bliss. Working on Amber again is a joy. You know every inch of this hall. After all, you fitted half of it. Hopefully we can get at least a 4. Oh, okay. Amber looks better than she ever has before. Bliss has done an incredible job of cleaning up the hall. Despite the exterior changes being limited, she has the impression of being lighter, somehow sleeker than before. Moritz drifts by. He has been loading up the final equipment onto Amber. Turns out Ankita will be taking her weapons, but packed and ready to sell at the first starboard belt port she hits. But now that Moritz is done, he seems in a kind of daze, floating back and forth aimlessly. You okay, Moritz? What's that? He turns. Oh, right, yeah. Packed and stacked. He smiles a weak smile. Was hoping Miss Cassetta would let me keep a warhead. What do you think of her? Miss Cassetta? He shrugs. She seems tired and old, like older than she looks. Hey, sleeper. He looks you down. Did you know Bliss was leaving? You understand now. She told him. That's why he's like this. I did. He nods distractedly. You said this place is mine. He looks up around the bay like it's suddenly some vast space he doesn't know what to do with. Can you manage it? He looks down at you, a glazed look on his face. I don't know. I just don't know. A dark look suddenly crosses his face. Hey, sleeper, there was something Bliss said. He meets your eye. Are you going to? Before you can answer, Ankita glides into the bay, a massive crate on her shoulder. Sleeper, you coming or what? Bliss is already on board. She stops by the terminal, holding herself in place. Moritz looks at her with a dazed expression. You look at Ankita. She's keeping it together now. She's packed all those bad feelings down someplace where you'll never see them and built a tough foundation on top. She may not be a mercenary anymore, but you imagine most people would think twice before trying to cross her. Well, she looks at you. I'm not eager to spend another moment of my time on this station unless I have to. She pauses, looking between you and Moritz. She sighs. I'll give you a minute. And she kicks off with the crate, taking it to the end of the bay where the Amber sits docked. Oh, I feel bad for him. No, I got too many ties here. I'm staying. Moritz looks like he might pass out. Sleeper? Are you sure? Are you doing this for me? The bay needs me. He laughs. Couldn't leave me alone with the place in the end, huh? He laughs again. Ankita comes back across the bay, the final crate stowed. You staying then, sleeper? That's right. She nods. Well, okay then. One less mouth to feed. She pauses. Look, sleeper. I'm not gonna go back over everything that happened. She sighs. I'm trying to put that behind me. But I hope you find what you're looking for here. She smiles and kicks off, gliding to the ambergris and the starboard belt beyond. You both watch in silence as Amber's drives fire up. I guess this is our place now, says Moritz, the weight of everything suddenly hitting him. Your place. He smiles. Okay, but I'll need some help from time to time. You both stay for a while to watch Amber and Bliss and Ankita leave. And then Moritz goes to the racks to finally implement a new organizational system, and you head out, promising to be back to check on things soon. As you glide around the soft curve of the hub, you catch glimpses of the distant stars flickering through the windows. They are beautiful, it's true. By now, you think of them as a distraction. In your time on the Eye, you've realized there's nothing out there waiting for you. No fresh starts, no bright futures, just a whole load of problems you haven't found yet. No, your place is here, among the people you know and the problems you know. You wish Ankita and Bliss the best of luck out and about, but as you do, you focus on the Eye, on the vast spinning rim that rotates around its hub, on its buildings and flashing lights, on its people and places. This is your home, and, for now, it contains all the futures you need. Ooh, chills. Oh. Wow. Insane. So fucking good. I find it so hard to believe that the second one can top it. But it doesn't need to. I guess as long as it's good in its own right. Yeah, that was crazy. For Diana and Anais. What's gonna happen at the end of these credits? Gareth Damian Martin. A huge thank you to you, Gareth. And a huge thank you to you, Amos. Amos Roddy, one of my favorite soundtracks of all time. Wow. Is he gonna let us continue? It is. Next round is yours. Moritz arrives at the table with a couple of steel drink canisters, typical of the hub's only bar, the Gimbal Lounge. He settles into the webbing beside the table and clunks them down onto the magnetic table. This place, you have decided, is ridiculous. A rapidly spinning, cavernous sphere, the gimbal's weak gravity, just like the gravity at the Eye's rim, is created by its gut-wrenching rotation. The interior surface of the sphere is the gimbal's floor, which descends towards the equator where one long bar loops around the entire circumference. Tumbling out from that central ring are an array of booths and seating arrangements equipped with all kinds of harnesses and webbing to keep customers in place. Those harnesses are there because the gimbal doesn't quite spin up fast enough, and you watch as the clientele bounce towards the bar in lazy arcs, or shift from table to table with graceful leaps. "What are you thinking?" asked Moritz, noticing you staring out into the gimbal. How weird this place is. Moritz glances around as if for the first time. Yeah, Bliss never used to like coming here. Moritz takes a drink and stretches. "So, Sleeper, you sticking around?" "If you'll have me." Moritz nods. "Of course. I'm gonna need help in the bay." Moritz rubs the back of his head. "One cycle at a time, that's how we'll take it. Nice and easy." You aren't sure if he is talking to himself or you. "We'll make it." He lifts his drink for a toast. "To the next cycle," he pronounces, and knocks it back. Later, when you finally leave the gimbal, Moritz is still laughing. You help him out of the spinning gimbal and back into the hub, sending him on his way home to the bay. Then you pause for a moment to watch the stars as they spin and spin around the Eye. You smile to yourself and think of Bliss and Ankita out there somewhere among those points of light. To the next cycle. And, my friends, that's where we're going to end it.